What's up, guys? Welcome back. So today I want to talk about why anxiety symptoms are not the actual problem and what you should be diverting your focus on if you're wanting to manage your anxiety, if you're wanting to actually recover from anxiety disorder like I did. I had to take my focus away from the symptoms and realize that they were not the actual problem. So just like many of you, if not all of you, I was very symptom focused for quite some time after I developed my anxiety disorder. After I had my first panic attack, I didn't really think about the things that caused that panic attack, at least not too much, or if I did, it was very short-lived. I then diverted all my focus, all of my energy, my negative energy, my fear, onto the symptoms that I was dealing with. And I can tell you I had hundreds of symptoms, if not thousands of little sensations and symptoms. I had full-on panic attacks, anxiety attacks. I had multiple of those a day. So I'm just here to say I know it's hard, especially when you're dealing with all that, to take your focus off of the symptoms and to focus it on more important things so you can recover. And unfortunately, a lot of you get caught up in this symptom cycle. You have something that causes anxiety. The anxiety gets really, really bad. You start to have a lot more negative thoughts, and then you start to get physical sensations and symptoms. And instead of actually focusing on what caused those negative thoughts, symptoms, and sensations, we focus on the product of anxiety. And that is a problem that a lot of us get sucked into, and we don't get out of that cycle for a very, very long time until we realize what I'm trying to tell you in this video. And trust me, I'm preaching to my old self. All day it was symptom this, symptom that. Symptom this, symptom that. All freaking day. What's that? What's this? Is this a disease? Is this cancer? Is this the big heart attack? Why can't I get rid of these symptoms? Why can't I get rid of these symptoms? What we should be focused on, first of all and foremost, and this is what you should be working on every single day, why did this start in the first place? Because if we don't shut off the motor that causes these symptoms, none of it matters. A lot of you are trying to work anxiety recovery from the outside in whenever we need to be working it from the inside out, which means we have to stop putting our negative energy, our fear, giving a fearful response to these symptoms and start working on what actually is keeping this motor going, right? We have to resolve that problem. And I can't tell you what your root causes of anxiety are. You're going to have to do some investigating and digging up some things, do that process on your own. And I'll say this, a lot of you think that what triggered your first panic attack or what started the first few symptoms is the whole story. I'm here to tell you you're probably wrong. There's probably multiple things that led to you developing an anxiety disorder. And for me, I had things building for years. So it's important to try to figure all of that out. If you need to get a therapist or a professional, mental health professional to help you with that, please do that, right? They can help you get down to the root causes of your anxiety, and then you can start trying to resolve those, which will then shut off this anxiety motor. Another big problem that you guys need to be focusing on is your response to the symptoms. The symptoms and the product of anxiety is not the problem. It is your actual response to the symptoms, right? And again, this is the cycle that I was finding myself in. I would have a symptom, I would respond in fear, and what happens, right? The symptom gets worse because anxiety is going to do the opposite of what we want it to do. So if we want it to go away, please, no, not right now. It's not a good time, which it's never a good time, right? Please, no, I'm scared. Please don't be a heart attack. That symptom, that chest pain gets worse, that headache gets worse, your stomach starts to act up even more, right? Because anxiety and your symptoms, they fuel off of fear. So a lot of us need to focus on changing our response. And I've talked about a jillion different ways to respond to symptoms on this channel. I'm not going to cover all of them here, but anything from gratitude to making a conscious effort to be positive, to practicing internal reassurance instead of seeking external reassurance, developing that inner dialogue, practicing self-love, challenging symptoms is something that I did a lot. So I actually asked my symptoms to intensify to show my subconscious that I wasn't afraid. The response for many of you guys is just straight to a fearful one, and you're doing it every single time, and you're wondering why these symptoms are not going away. You can't beg these symptoms to go away. You can't plead with your subconscious to make them stop. All you're doing in that situation is basically asking for more symptoms. You're saying, I'm scared. Please, subconscious, keep sending me symptoms so I'll know that I'm in a dangerous situation. And that's what you're doing, guys. And another thing, guys, that you need to start focusing on more so than the symptoms is your lifestyle and your environment. What is your environment like? Is it toxic? What are the habits that you partake in? There's a lot of things that you were able to do before you had anxiety disorder that are now fueling your symptoms. This could be alcohol use, tobacco use, your caffeine. It could be horrible eating, right? Eating a lot of processed food, fast food, things like that. Your situation, your environment, the people that you surround yourself may have to change. Your habits have to change to make your environment conducive for recovery. There were a lot of things I had to give up and a lot of things I had to change in order for me to recover. So change up your environment, detox your environment. That's a good way of putting it. And change up your lifestyle, change up your habits. Start introducing exercise into your life, healthy eating, right? Practice mindfulness. So there's a lot of different things that you can be including into your life. You got to change your lifestyle. You got to change your habits. In order for you to recover from anxiety, it's going to take some sacrifice. It's going to take some change, right? You're not going to be the same person as you were before. Whenever you first developed anxiety disorder and what you were before. You could argue that person before anxiety disorder is what led you to having anxiety in the first place. So you have to totally make a transformation, and that was something that I had to do in my life. If you're interested in recovery, remember to grab my course, Elite Anxiety Bootcamp. My one-on-one coaching info is down there. I mentioned therapy. Please seek online therapy. It's a convenient way to do it. You can get started today. I'm going to put a link down there in the description for that as well. A lot of other resources. And until next time, guys, keep fighting.